Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Imagine you are watching your favorite college team compete for a national championship. A week later, you learn that one of the players has been placing sports bets on professional games, even though the player never bet on college sports. Fans begin questioning whether the athlete, or perhaps the entire team, can still be trusted. Since sports betting became a very viral issue in the United States recently, through online sports books, this issue affects many college students and many of my friends that I know, whether they're athletes or just sports fans or future professionals. And then, as you can see here, I am an NCAA student athlete, and I have firsthand experience with the expectations and responsibilities that come with representing my university. I understand that our decisions on and off the field affect not only ourselves, but also our teammates, coaches, and the reputation of our school. In addition to my personal experience, I researched this topic using information from NCAA, the National Council on Problem Gambling, and scholarly research on sports betting and athlete behavior. College athletes should not be allowed to bet on professional sports because doing so creates ethical concerns, increases gambling risk, and weakens confidence in college athletics. First, I will explain why allowing college athletes to bet on professional sports creates problems. Then I will discuss why continuing the NCAA's policies is the best solution. And then finally, I will explain what the future could look like if these policies are diminished or continue to be regulated. So first off, college athletes have unique responsibilities, and allowing them to bet on professional sports creates unnecessary risk for them, for themselves, and for other college athletics. Imagine that you are a student athlete and you already have to deal with classes and practices and workouts, travel and competition, and then you're just trying to maintain your eligibility to play your sport as well. And then you add sports betting into this issue. And then there's just another source of pressure, and it could lead to poor decision making, financial losses, or gambling addiction. Even if an athlete only bets on professional sports, fans and the public may question that athlete's integrity. The NCAA prohibits student athletes from participating in sports betting because gambling can threaten the integrity of athletics and expose athletes to outside influence. Research also shows that young adults are among the groups at most risk for developing gambling-related problems. And as I said earlier, I'm going to do this. As an NCAA athlete myself, I know that representing a university comes with expectations that extend beyond competition. Every decision that we make reflects on our teammates, coaches, and institution. This issue matters to everyone because college athletics depend on fairness, accountability, and public trust. The NCAA and its members institutions should continue prohibiting student athletes from betting on professional sports while expanding education and support programs about responsible gambling. Maintaining this policy protects student athletes from gambling-related harm while also preserving confidence in college athletics. Universities should also continue educating athletes about gambling risks and provide confidential counseling support for those who struggle with gambling. Continuing this policy directly addresses the problem discussed earlier. It reduces opportunities for gambling-related scandals, discourages risky gambling behavior, and protects athletes from outside influences, and helps preserve the integrity of college athletics. The NCAA has long prohibited sports betting by student athletes because it believes these rules are necessary to protect fair competition and public confidence in college sports. We see this to be a huge problem in professional sports already. Especially this past year in the NBA, there's been a lot of uprising about whether players are stat padding or if they're intentionally doing this or that. Like Terry Rozier is an example of an NBA player. He's retired now, but he just got sentenced to some time in prison. But like I said, as someone who competes under NCAA rules, I have received education about sports betting and understand why these policies are emphasized. The rules are intended not only to prevent misconduct, but also to protect student athletes from situations that could jeopardize their eligibility and future opportunities. Some people argue that athletes are adults and should have the same freedom as everyone else to bet on professional sports. And I know a big topic of conversation between me and my teammates is that we're in college. We're at such a low level college that we don't have any influence on professional sports. And it's like, why can't we participate in something when we have no influence on it? But then you go to the flip side of that. We are NCAA athletes, and by being an NCAA athlete, we should understand that we have responsibilities that other students don't have. And just like as different students have their responsibilities and have to reach their goals to keep their grades, it's just another thing that we have to do as athletes. And if college athletes were allowed to bet on professional sports, gambling scandals could become more common. Athletes could face financial losses, gambling addiction, or pressure from people seeking insider information. Fans would begin questioning the fairness of college sports, and universities could suffer damage to their reputations. However, if colleges continue enforcing the current policies in place while educating athletes about responsible gambling, student athletes will be better protected from unnecessary risks. Fans will continue to trust the fairness of college athletics. Universities will preserve their reputations, and athletes can focus on their education and performance instead of gambling-related distractions. I encourage you all to support NCAA policies that prohibit college athletes from betting on professional sports, and especially to encourage colleges to continue investing in gambling, education, and mental health resources. As fans, students, and future professionals, we all benefit when college athletics remain fair, trustworthy, and focused on developing student athletes rather than gambling controversies. Thank you guys.